live from the Unknown Theater in Horizon Worlds. Tonight, we have pipe dreams and crooked conversations. Welcome to the stage, your host, Windmajik and B-Ligerent.
Yay! Hello. Welcome to the Unknown Theater. I am Windmajik, and this is my co-host, B-Ligerent. And this is Pipe Dreams and Crooked Conversations. Hi, B.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How about you get off your Pikachu?
You be nice to that Pikachu pillow.
It's the first thing I do every time.
I know. You throw it out of your chair. You have no respect for the Pikachu.
I have a big butt.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, hey, buddy.
Yes, you do. Hey.
From one to another, baby.
Boy,
From one to another.
Good to see everybody.
Yeah,
Good
you
to see
invited us.
everybody.
We coming over here.
That's right.
So, for the second time this summer, the Northern Lights were going to be visible in Vermont, where I live. And for the second time this summer, when the Northern Lights were going to be visible, we had thunderstorms. I just thought I'd share that with everybody. So fuck you to the universe, because the universe is saying fuck you to me. So that was my bitch tonight. How you doing, B?
Yeah. I got to see him.
You saw the Northern Lights?
Yeah, I joined this group on Facebook. It's called Naked Northern Lights.
Okay.
Yeah, like I had to click that. Well, that sounds cool. Like they go to this meadow and they just like frolic naked in the Northern Lights. It was nice.
Oh, okay.
It was all right. It was nice.
So
Ball swinging. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So, okay. So you got to frolic with your balls a swinging and looking at the Northern Lights, and I've never seen them. Well, good for you.
Yeah, what did you do? What did you do?
I didn't do anything because it was fucking raining, and I stayed home.
Dang.
I
love
didn't. No
you,
meadow.
honey bunny.
No titties swinging in the breeze. No Northern Lights. No nothing. I got nothing. No. It was sad.
Yeah.
Hey, Sir Hopsalot, how you doing?
Maybe in 60 years when they're visible again.
When what's visible? My
Maybe
boobs or the Northern Lights?
Wow. 60 years. No, I'm just saying it's not like the eclipse, like you have to wait 60 years or something.
Right.
Just drive. You're close enough to Canada. Get your ass moving.
Canada sucks.
I love Canada.
Hey.
I knew it. I
love
Oh, yeah.
Canada.
I knew it. I get
love
a
Canada.
rise.
So, did you see any aliens this week? Open a third eye, deep throat a gas pipe, get stuck in an elevator?
No. Thank you though. Like that is stuff that happens to me.
I noticed
No,
that.
but I didn't. I had something interesting today that was really strange. Like, you guys are gonna really think I'm fucking crazy, but so like, all right. So you know when you rub your hands into your eyes when your eyes are closed and like you see lights. You know what I'm talking about?
Like
Well,
mushrooms.
No. Just regular, like you're just rubbing your eyes and like sometimes you see like lights or perhaps after image of something that was bright in front of you. And I'm rubbing my eyes and like I turn to my left and there's a chair like right over here. It's right there. And for some reason like my head kind of went that way as I was rubbing my eyes and like the colors.
Okay,
There was an outline. Like they stopped, like it made an outline, like there was something blocking them. And I like stopped, like you can only do it for so long, right? You can only rub your eyes for so long and make that thing before they start to hurt, you know?
Here we go again.
I'm like, what the fuck was that? That was weird. So I start rubbing my eyes again and seeing the lights, and I look at the chair, and it's an outline. There's somebody sitting in. There's like an outline, a shadow outline, in the lights where you rub your eyes, and if you push on your eyeball and shit, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
there's an outline there. I'm like, holy fuck, and it like freaked me out. And so like my eyes were starting to go a little fucking woo from pushing on them too much, you know. But I had to keep going. So I like kept pushing on my eyes, I went over and I like got closer and it like got up. And then that's when I'm like, all right, this is fucking too crazy. And then I stopped. But what do you like? There was somebody there.
So you think there was something there because you were rubbing your eyes?
Yeah. Not because
so,
I don't know why he was
that you
there.
were able to see it because you were rubbing your eyes?
Yeah.
So you think that there's always something sitting there, but you can only see it when you rub your eyes?
I don't know. This is just a small sample. I'm gonna try to invent something where you just keep your eyes permanently pushed down so you can just see all that stuff. What do you
try
think?
rubbing your ears? You can hear them.
I should try rubbing my ears. Yeah, or my nose.
You might not want to smell
What were we
them.
talking about before the show that I said we're going to talk about in a minute and 26 seconds, and I already forgot?
Kids TV show, Mr. Gooby or something like that.
Oh, yeah. What? Mr. Tickles?
Tickle Room? Tickle what?
Tickle
no.
What was it?
No,
Some
Mr.
Canadian?
Mr.
Okay, this is a
Mr. Dress
Canadian
Up.
children's show, Mr. Dress Up.
Mr. Dress Up, and he had he obviously liked to dress up, and it was the tickle trunk. His clothes.
He had a tickle trunk.
Wow.
And did he invite children over to visit his tickle trunk?
There was like there were kids that were on the show and adults, like different characters, like mailman and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And he had puppets, Casey and Finnegan, like a dog and this kid puppet. It was. I loved it.
And we had Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street.
Yeah, we had Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers.
And you had Mr. Dress Up with a tickle trunk.
Mr. Dress Up with the tickle trunk.
I had Romper Room.
What was in the trunk?
Or Polka Dot Door.
Oh,
what was in the tickle trunk?
Polka Dot Door.
I mean, there have been some messed up children's shows, but that one kind of. I mean, was there a beaver on the show too?
Oh, gosh, there was Chester the Crow. I know that one.
Okay, there was a crow, Chester the Crow. I knew.
Making memories flashback here.
Okay.
Wow.
And here I was watching the Smurfs
with the one girl.
With Smurfette, yeah.
Yeah,
that
her
was a
whole
little
village.
weird.
They had the smurfing trunk.
The tickle trunk. I mean, and nobody saw a problem with this. Nobody said, this is a little odd.
That was
Nobody said this is a little odd, eh?
No?
It was, I guess, different times, right?
Sure. Sure. Wow. You know, I was talking last night during the beta show about like Gen Xers and some of the crazy shit that we did as kids. And then I was thinking about some of the TV shows that I used to watch and how they could never be on TV now. Charlie's Angels. I used to love that show. That show, I tried watching it a couple years ago, and I couldn't watch it. I used to love it back in the day, and I couldn't watch. It was so sexist.
Like, what if they made a movie about it?
Well, they did.
Oh.
But it was just unacceptable, though.
Baywatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of the shows that were on when we were younger would never be accepted now. I don't know if I liked TV better then or now. I don't know.
Mr. Tickle's dress down trunk?
I'm just disturbed about a TV show called Mr. Tickles. I just find that disturbing.
It wasn't Mr.
Or
Tickles.
Mr. Dress Up with
Yeah,
a trunk
Mr.
called
Dress Up.
Mr. called Tickle Trunk.
He was a Canadian icon.
A Canadian icon.
Oh,
What does
I'm
he look
telling
like?
you.
I wish we
Tickle
could
trunk.
do like a picture.
He looks like an old man with glasses. Like that's
Uh-huh.
it's
Even better.
They all do.
Oh, no.
And did he give the kids candy?
he was like, hey, come to my
Did he-
tickle trunk.
Did he
Did he have
drive a
the bow
white
tie?
van?
You guys want to play dress up?
White van?
Kangaroo.
It's like the dude on.
Captain Kangaroo was
Family Guy.
I never liked that show. My mother
Yeah.
would put it on for me when I
That
was a
dude, yeah,
little
that
kid. That show was weird, with Mr. Green Jeans and the
Yep.
dancing bear
Dancing
and the
bears.
ping pong balls that used to come
What?
down.
Oh, I forgot.
Different
about
kind of
those.
tickle.
What's the weirdest show?
stop me. Let me tickle your inside.
Oh, I can't do that voice no more.
Aw.
Wow,
I gave
your
that up years ago.
voice went from like here to like way down here.
Well, you'll never find.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's
Wow. Okay, so what else is going on in the world? You told your first political joke last night.
Oh yeah, I guess.
I was so proud of you. You killed it.
Really? Is that something to aspire towards? Because I try to stay away from it generally. Because
I know you hate politics.
I don't hate politics. I don't want to.
It's nice to have it in your arsenal, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to do it all the time, but it's nice to just work them out. And,
It's just a way to just flip half a crowd. Like I'd rather make it asinine. My joke was asinine. It wasn't political at all. It was just about her and.
Well, I was just wondering if we were going to be changing your name to Monica.
Why, you got any cigars?
I got a political joke.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah.
It's a shame that Trump got shot, but I wonder if the Secret Service said, Donald Duck.
Oh. They did, I think.
Get it? Donald Duck?
Yeah.
I get it.
Anyway, there you go.
Yes, I get it, Donald Duck.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
That was
Trump-
actually like
Trump jump.
literally the first thing I said when I heard about it. I was like, did anybody say Donald Duck?
Yeah, you do that.
They could say, Trump, jump, or asshole, get down. They could do any of those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I already know who I'm voting for, so it doesn't,
I'm in the they're all
Anything.
assholes category.
Yeah.
So
I
This
do
could be
really
said.
hope that there is a debate, another debate though, because I need new material.
yeah.
I know that our guest tonight does.
Well, as long as there's
stop
no
us.
fly invading the debate, we're good, I guess.
That was hysterically funny. And I mean, before the debate was even over, there were Pence memes with the fly on his.
There are memes also with Hillary, or what was her name? Kamala's legs open. Now we know where the fly came from.
Well, she needs bats.
The fly worked.
Her pH is off.
I do know that our guest this evening, I do know that he drops a political joke or two.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So he could probably use some material. I think we should
Yeah.
probably bring him up soon.
Let's bring him up too.
Let's bring him up.
right.
So we
For
have
our
a
guest-
very
yeah.
special. Oh, go
Sorry.
ahead. Go ahead, B.
I was just gonna say our guest tonight is an awesome real life comic and VR life is real, of course, life comic, and has a show here called Stand Up, Sit Down. So everybody, welcome Jack Shutze.
Hey, Jack. Have
Yes,
a
sir.
seat.
I'm excited to be here.
I really want to like somebody to start singing like "Be Our Guest" from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh.
I can't. Thank
That's
you.
what everybody knows. No one knows the verses. I don't know
Put
the
your
words.
service to the test. Yeah.
Yes.
I promise you I will not sing because it's
I
not
don't know what that's
what
from.
most people would consider singing. So how are you, Jack? You made it.
I did. I made it. I went through Delta's crazy flight changes, and I'm on steroids, Humira, ibuprofen, and weed right now. And I also have
That's a lot up
COVID.
and down.
And you have COVID?
And I just got off a flight, just spreading that shit all across the country.
Hell yeah, brother.
fuck.
America.
And did
Oh,
you
man.
find out after you?
So I had like a
No,
slight.
he knew before.
When I got to South Carolina, I had like a slight tickle in my throat, but it just felt like allergies. And then I went through something, and I'm getting over it. But it hit my wife really hard, and that's why we took a test. Is because I just thought I had like a cold. It was nothing. And then she has it bad in the next room, and I was just like, absolutely. Well, we just got off a plane. We're like, oh, we should probably test. But yeah. So if there's an outbreak in Austin, Texas, or any of the places we flew, now we know.
Did you happen to have shaken Biden's hand within like a week or so?
Oh man. Oh. Well, so you guys were talking about political jokes. I was gonna tell you like I like joking about political, but not where you're like choosing a side, like where you're making fun of like the shoes bit I do is just talking about shoes and bullshit. But like the one I have for Kamala is like, oh, everyone says it's like historical and unprecedented for what's happening with Kamala, but I live in the South, and you can go to any nursing home, and you see at least one minority woman clean up after a mess two geriatric white dudes made. And it's like, that's not really I'm not saying pro-Kamala, anti-Kamala, or anything, but it's just like the idea that, she's out there, getting it done.
Beautiful.
Well, I mean, too, a lot of politicians, like, you don't really have to try too hard.
No, it's
jokes.
too easy.
I mean,
it's too easy. I don't really do a lot of Trump stuff because it's hard. Like
making Trump jokes is difficult.
Well, no, it's like it's difficult to stand out.
Been done already.
Yeah, it's hard to stand out and do something original. Yes, besides just doing his voice in your own joke, but like it's not. He's so absurd. It's hard to make fun of, and then also. If you're in like most comedy cities are already liberal cities, so everyone's already shitting on them anyway. So like as just a contrarian, I want to like punch on someone else just because like it's like make a harder subject, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So Jack, thanks for being our guest, first of all. And before the show, like I always like about 20 minutes before. No, I'm just playing. But before the show, I'm like trying to think of questions, right? So, and you are a Googleable entity. So yeah. I wanted to read something. And this is actually from the unknowntheater.com/world, right? Is that what it is? about your show.
Idea.
Is it? Yeah, it's about your show. Stand Up, Sit Down.
World.
There you go.
Gotcha.
.world. Yeah, thank you. It's about your show, and it's just a paragraph amidst a few paragraphs, but I like it. So it says, the host is Jack Shutze, a comic, this is really hard to read, whose dark anecdotes always play well in the theater's pro nights, a hardworking student of the comedic arts. He not only hits just about every VR stage he can find a way onto, but is highly active in the physical world scene of San Marcos, Texas, right?
Yeah, solid.
Sweet. That's where you're from.
Yeah, so I live like Austin. It's called the Hill Country, so the area between like Austin and San Antonio.
Oh, sweet.
So I've moved around, but I live in San Marcos right now. It's a chill spot. It's between Austin and San Antonio, so I can hit two different scenes. That wasn't on purpose, but it just worked out that way.
Sweet. Yeah, I honestly like I don't. maybe I meant put enough time into these kind of questions before, but I did spend some time. I'm really happy. So I have some stuff. But it did digress really fast into me watching YouTube videos of the NBA's most aggressive dunks ever. I will say. And that's usually what happens whenever I'm like, oh, I'm gonna look something up. It usually just eventually goes to something like that. But talk about so San Marcos. It's near Austin, which has obvious comedy going on right now. Obvious, right? Everybody knows.
Yeah, it's blowing up. Joe Rogan. It already had like a small to medium scene, but once Rogan moved here, it went like times 1,000.
Sure. So does that spill over? Because I was going to bring up Wimberley.
Yeah. So how it's worked for me is, every month 100 comics move to Austin from other cities, right?
Right. Yeah.
They're not also bringing like another 1,000 comedy audience members with them. So all these Rogan's Club sold out every night. Creek and Cave is kind of half sold out. Cap City is kind of half sold out. The rest of them do the small rooms. There's a couple of them that are doing really well, but everyone's fighting for such a limited audience that my advantage is that I'm about an hour away. So I'm drawing in like 35 to 55, 60-year-olds, a different crowd that has nothing out there. And I'm bringing them like a city show. I'm taking advantage of all the comics in Austin and San Antonio and bringing them out to these smaller places. Yeah. So I'm able to get like 100 people or 50 people to these shows. And so they're a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Yeah. It looked like you had a put together like a real kick-ass lineup of comics.
Yeah, I'm running like 5 shows at 5 different places right now, and while I was out of town, I just had the first time where like I had a comic that I trust run one of my shows while I was out, and like that was super nerve-wracking, like dropping the PA off and like leaving all my equipment and just be like, but have fun and be funny, but also like make money and fucking like it was kind of weird. But it worked out for the most part. I didn't hear anything, bad, and everyone said they had a good time. So that's good.
So by running show, that means you're hosting and then recruiting and all the shit, everything.
Yeah. So I'll find a venue that doesn't a non-traditional comedy venue, anything from a small theater to just like a nice patio at a bar. Hoping they'll run drinks because then I don't have to pay for the room. And then I'll find the right comics, put something on Facebook and Eventbrite, and roll it out and like promo it and build a show. And if it works well, we'll just keep running them like on every weekly or monthly kind of thing.
Oh yeah, sweet. How many of them are into VR?
Just the one, man. I had to slow down on VR because I'm starting to get booked as just a regular comic, and so it's like. If it's the show I'm committed to here, like at the Unknown Theater, or if I get poached to like or go do something else in VR, I'll definitely do it. But right now, if I'm not at home, I'm at another show somewhere. So it's been really intense. But that was even like my trip I just took. I hit like 2 mics. The first thing I did, we got in town. My wife and I went and ate dinner. And it happened to be that there are mics in Asheville. Which do you know where? Have you been to Asheville, North Carolina?
No, but I'm a fan of Duncan Trussell, and I think he's from there. He talks about it.
You've been to Asheville, Windmajik?
I have not.
So it used to, a long time ago, it used to be really country, and then at some point it turned to like weed hippie, and now it's like rich, fake, white, douchey hipsters. It's like it's kind of become like a parody of itself, where like it was just so many white people. And they're all kind of like fake nice, like, oh, yeah, how's it going? But you can tell they're not actually like caring about it. It was a very, very awkward feeling.
Oh, it's like Vermont.
Is Vermont like that?
Very, very much so.
It's kind of mountainy, though, too. Maybe that's the mountainy thing. It's just kind of like, I live up in these mountains to not be around people like you. So,
yeah, kind of. I mean, I'll be nice to people. Like, I'll help somebody out and stuff, but, like, don't try to talk to me. Yeah. Like, I mean, like, okay, so if somebody's, like, got a flat tire on the side of the road, like, yeah, I'm happy to, like, walk over and, like, help them change their tire. But, like, I don't want to, like, strike up conversation, talk about the weather. I don't give a fuck about their kids or their grandkids or anything like that. Just let me change your damn tire and go about your way. So, yeah. So they're friendly, not friendly around here?
It's a place where you have to now have money. It used to be hippie and cool and artsy, and now you have to have money. So it's just kind of like a little stuffy. Everything looked nice, and it was all shiny and new. But then it had this like weird. You want to talk about political? They said at the show, this girl goes, "I'm ENM." Have you heard it in ENM?
ENM.
Ethically non-monogamous. Think about that. Ethically non-monogamous.
Ethic or ethnic?
Ethically
not. So what they're basically saying is that
they fuck around in their partner.
Yes, exactly. I was like, what the fuck? And they kept saying it, and they were so proud of it. And I was like, that's just called like fucking other people or like having an open relationship.
Open
Why
marriage,
do we have to give it this whole
long
ass name? And I guess like it was so like it was very, very odd. It wasn't like super like woke hipstery. Yeah. It was just weird. It was just weird. An odd place. Great to visit. I would suggest everyone visit. Although I did want to tell you guys briefly. When I was down there, I played disc golf. And did you guys know that bees live by creeks? Can live in the water by creeks?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So in Texas, bees live in hives in the trees. They don't generally live in the water.
Mud wasps, and they'll bore down into the mud, and they make these like tunnels through it. And and there's hornets also that go down into the banks of rivers and stuff. Yeah.
So I'm out there playing with my wife, this disc golf specifically, and I see a disc by the creek, and I go to grab it. And when I stand up, I feel something hit my head, like where my hair is. And I go to pull it out, and I'm like, oh, a bee. Within 3 seconds, I got attacked like cartoon style, like full bee swarm,
no.
like running, like bee hit me on my neck, bee hit me 3 times on this leg, 3 times on this. I run it, and I'm like, I don't want to go back towards the water because the bees were at the water. And I fucking took off my shirt and was just like screaming on the disc golf course. And like, I realized if I took off my shirt, I could at least swat at the bees. Like,
did you get stung?
Dude, 10 times. 10 times.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And like, at first I was like, oh, I've been stung by a bee before. And normally one is just kind of like, okay. As the day progressed, I was like, I feel like my whole body's on fire right now. And I'm not allergic to them, but, it was fucking
but
wild.
10 bee stings is a lot. I mean, 1 bee sting hurts.
Yeah, and it was like equally spread throughout my body too. So it was like no matter where I sat, I was just like, oh yeah, that happened today. I'm like, oh, fantastic.
Does that pillow give you flashbacks?
A little bit. Can I throw it out? I can't throw this one.
No, that one's stationary.
We knew about
it's just
that
there
story.
To haunt you.
Yeah, we knew that story.
Yeah. Yeah. We looked into the future and saw you telling that story, so we had that. I mean, made that pillow special.
Right. That's very nice.
Sure. So, Jack, how long have you been doing comedy?
Coming up on 4 years. I started out doing so I had this. The reason I'm all these drugs and stuff is because I have some weird autoimmune thing.
Okay.
And coming out of COVID times, I couldn't walk, and I was like, I had this weird scare where like I had to figure out like what steroids to take. And I had this realization, and I was like, okay, like someday I will die. Someday I won't be able to do certain things that I wanted to do before. And I was like, what's one thing on my deathbed that I'd be like, oh, I wished I'd tried that. And it was always stand up. I was just always so scared to do it. And so once COVID let up, I immediately people started doing. What was nice about COVID is people got more organized about mics. There's a lot more online signups and stuff just because you had to be more organized with numbers of people and things like that. So like I was looking at an online sign-up sheet and an open mic that I knew didn't have too many people, so I wasn't nervous about like embarrassing myself. And I was like, I have to do this. So I just got on the stage and I prepared for a couple months before that. I'd always thought about it, so I like had some ideas. Over prepared. Probably did like 7 minutes of bad material squeezed into 4 minutes because I was like going so fast and just super nervous, but kept at it.
Now, prior to doing stand-up and making the decision, you said you had thought about it for a long time. were you like an extrovert, an introvert? Like, were you kind of like the class clown, or did you just have a lot of really funny thoughts in your head that you just never really expressed?
So when I was younger, I was more eccentric. I started smoking pot around like 13, and then also just like the whole growing up in Texas, they're just like, think outside the box, think outside the box. And the second you do something creative, they're like, get back in that fucking box. Like they don't want you to do anything. And so I think it was kind of beaten out of me starting around like 15. I got a job, started to do life, tried to have girlfriends, like build a career in cooking. And so I stopped being outgoing. And then when I met my wife, she makes me very happy, and it made me realize that I don't really need other people's approval, and it kind of opened up what else I could do in my life, because I wasn't scared of certain things. Then I had the health thing, so it was like I rediscovered that I do like to be gregarious and I like to be fun around people. But that's just like I'm just now coming back to that, and I'm 37 now, so I've been taking like 15 years off being outgoing and having fun and being that person.
Do you still get nervous?
I get nervous for shows in front of people that I want to impress, like another producer or comic. Crowds, the crowd doesn't get me nervous anymore. It's like wanting to do good for them. But I still get like, I think producing shows and hosting shows, you don't have a lot of time to think. You're like organizing so much stuff. And I found I've actually do a lot better if I'm just like busy, go up on stage with a good attitude versus like, I got to do this. I used to try and cram as much material in. And I've actually found that makes me more nervous because I feel like I have to hit all these bullet points instead of just like talking. And it's really about connecting anyway.
Yeah.
Right. I've found that as long as I have an idea in my head of what I want to talk about, then I feel better about my set.
It's like a good starting point.
Like if when I do have notes, all it is one or two words, because I know it in my head already. But like, did you always follow comedians? Did you always watch stand up? Was it something that you always enjoyed, or?
Yeah, so like age 13, I downloaded some Jerry Seinfeld acts. I listened to Eddie Murphy. I listened to some of the classics. But I always just thought it was unattainable. I thought you had to. I never realized, like, most people that haven't written a joke, you think there's some magic to it until you like write a decent one. You're like, holy shit, that it's not as hard. Sometimes it's luck, but like you think it's magical. And then once you kind of get in the habit of it, you're like, okay. So I followed them. There was a great producer in this area who was also a comic that had a show called Punch, Matt Bearden's Punch at Cap City, which Cap City is like the OG club in Austin. And he was doing Tuesdays for $5. And he would bring in like really good comics to do like 10-minute shorter sets. And he kept the night real short. It was $5. And it was such a great entry to like, he vetted them, and like they really, almost every single one of them did so well. And it inspired me, but I felt like I couldn't like go in the back corner of the room and talk to those people and just be like, hey guys, what's it like to be a comic? I hate it. I don't know if it's like self-esteem or scare. I don't know what it was, but like I was always too afraid to go and talk and have that conversation. So I loved comedy and I was around it. I just never like reached out to make the next step.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I feel like I've bored belligerent to death.
No, that's awesome. No, I'm listening. That's
no,
awesome.
I was processing. No, do you have any like comedic heroes in particular? Anybody that, like when you decided, like I know, I realized that I could do that when I was watching Amy Schumer. I was like, all of a sudden it just clicked, and I was like, well, I could actually do that. But I never really thought about doing it until King and B-Ligerent got me too. And now I want to do it live. I totally want to do it live.
It was weird because the comics that I listen to most of aren't the comics, like the style of comedy I do. I feel like I would love to be, the style I want to be is more like Dave Attell, where like, even if I'm telling a story, everything is just a constant punch. And it's really hard to do jokes like that.
I love Dave Attell.
Yeah.
But I don't, when I started out, I was listening to like Eddie Murphy, which is like storytelling based, Jerry Seinfeld is storytelling based and observation. So the comedy, and then also a big one I liked was Eddie Izzard. He has this special called Dress to Kill. Great. It's like, he talks about Henry VIII and like history and imperialism and all this stuff and makes it super funny and over the top. And I was like, I'd love to do that. But when I write jokes, I just write like, A to B to C, just very, and I'm learning to talk more and do more stories, but for the most part, I want to be rapid fire and just hammer, but it's kind of hard to do that because when you're missing, it's so much more obvious than when you're telling like a 3-minute story.
Yeah, because you can recover when you're telling a story. If you miss something, you can recover from it. But yeah, if you're doing that, I would never be able to do that. I was so proud of myself that I actually, what do they call that at the end where you refer back to something, a callback? I remembered it last night. I was so proud of myself.
That's killer. Was that in here?
It was in here at the beta show. Yeah, it was the first time I've told that joke on the beta show at least 5 or 6 times.
Did you write the callback or did it just come up naturally?
No, I have been trying to remember it every time I've told the joke, and every single time I forget the callback.
Yeah.
Nice.
I hate when you forget a line too and it's like crucial and you forget it. Like you totally just leave it out. And then
Like
the joke doesn't make sense.
You're going to charge $3. You're going to charge $3 an inch.
Yes. No, it's $6 6 inches. A dollar per inch.
Jokes with numbers require accuracy, I have found.
Yeah.
I had this one. This was about 2 months ago. I was at it was one of those things where they call it a show, but it's really just a glorified mic, like 15 comics doing 4 minutes back to back. And I would normally go to bed at like 11, 12, maybe 1 my time. It was like 1:30 and I was in San Antonio, which was an hour away. And I'm going up last and I'm doing okay. I can just tell I'm not in it though. And at one point I realized I'm 15 seconds into the exact same joke that I just told like 30 seconds ago.
Oh no.
Like my mind just went blank and something happened and I was like, I tried to spin it off or play it off like I did it on purpose, but like I was like, oh my God, my brain just like, it was just a click, like a skip of the record moment where I was just like,
oh God, my gosh.
Yeah, and it was late enough. Nobody cared, and I recovered with some joke that I started doing a little crowd work or talked about the walls or something, and I made a reference to it. But man, it rattled me for a week. I was just like, man, my brain is so dumb, and it made me realize like it's just late too.
Yeah, I mean when it's late and you've had to sit through a bunch of other other comics up there and stuff, I could imagine that would be. Like, I don't like going up like last or anything or close to last. I rather go up like first or the middle somewhere. I don't like having to wait in the back through other people's because I want.
It's tough too, and then it's also like some shows build and they have different energy, and so a lot of those showcases you're just kind of doing this. So like if you catch the crowd in a rough spot, I mean, there's only so much you can do. A lot of times it's a smaller crowd anyway, so. Those shows are always just going to be like that. It's half the time you're just practicing what you're saying. If you can get something out of it, they're good on you.
And does your wife go to a lot of your shows?
She comes to about half the shows I produce and about half the shows that I'm on as a comic.
Is she completely sick of listening to your jokes?
The old ones, yes, but she's just become she used to laugh a lot at all comics, and she's still a big laugher, but she's seen so much comedy that she's analyzes it like how comics do. Like, it's hard to get her to laugh. She's more like, oh, that's an interesting angle versus like, oh, you really caught me off guard there, you know? Like, so.
Yeah. Now, how did you meet your wife?
On OkCupid.
Really?
Online dating.
Nice. Yeah. So that actually does work.
Occasionally. I mean, I went through, I've been on to at least 10 terrible dates online.
Really? What's the worst date you ever went on?
Oh, man. Well, this was the second date. So the first one went okay, but it was like real formal. So we went on a second one, and she invited me to her parents. She invited me on a second date. I think we kissed maybe on the first date. After nothing, she invited me to her parents. And I was like, okay.
Parents' house.
To her parents, second date. And I'm up for anything, you know. I was just like, all right, whatever. And so,
and I mean, you're not teenagers, so it's not like, hey, let's go hang out at my parents' house.
No, I was 23. I had a job. She was a chef, like a legit chef somewhere. And I was like, okay, so this lady sounds awesome. Go meet her parents, whatever. As we were driving out there, she starts to get like more specific with it. We're like, well, just so you know, it's like behind an abandoned school. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Let's start there. It just goes, and it's also, they're kind of like building their own house out of glass bottles so they don't have to get permits. It's like, wait, what? Okay, that sounds cool. They really like the blue bottles too. And I was like, she's like, I'm actually bringing them blue bottles for their wall. And then we just get there, and it was like so awkward. Like the dad, cool enough. He played guitar, kind of older people. But like they wanted to like show me their guns and talk about conspiracy theories. And it was like, it was interesting, but it was like, I don't know why this lady even thought to like do it. I don't know if I was like an approval from them, but it was way too soon. And the whole thing was like, I was there for like 4 hours, just like hanging out, no TV, like talking about bottles and guns and the government and shit.
Wow. Oh my god, that must have been a little creepy. Did they show you like an underground bunker or anything? Or
see, that's what was
compound.
That's what was disappointing, is because they were just trashy people, so none of it was finished. It was like 100 half finished. That's what they did. They just showed me half finished projects basically the entire time. They're like, here's the walls, here's the thing, you know, and it was like, this will be a garden. It's like it's probably worse. I bet it's like worse now than it was then. I'd love to actually have that. This was about 16 years ago. I wish I knew where that place was, and I'd go drive by and see if they fucking finished those bottle houses.
Interesting.
So I was reading San Marcos. I was pleased to read San Marcos has cannabis decriminalization.
Yeah, it's a college town, man. Our jail's not big enough, I think, is the problem.
Ah, nice. Okay, Texas Tech, I think, right? Or no?
This one's state. It's like and I can say this, I went to Texas State. It's for like the kids that all wish they could get into UT, but they can't, which is University of Texas. And so they go to state, which is actually, it works out because it also happens to coincide that like, it's all of the really attractive girls that aren't smart enough to get into UT. So there's just like ridiculously hot.
Whoa.
18, 19-year-old girls just walking around town. They're all legal. I just look, but the entire town is just covered in like co-ed girls that wish they could get into UT. And some of them do eventually. And I went to Texas State. I didn't get into UT either. So.
I mean, but I'm sure that there are some attractive girls that do get into UT.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I wasn't saying that they don't. No. I'm just saying, I don't know what it is about the calculation. But there's a lot of attractive, that's all college campuses though. Just young and, vibrant. It's, I say hot girls. I more just mean like vibrant, like everyone's just excited. It has like life in their eyes.
You know what? Everybody's beautiful at 25 and under.
Yes.
They all are. I mean, and it doesn't matter. Well, no, I mean, I'm sure there are some ugly ones, but for the most part, yeah. I think it does have something to do with them having like way more years ahead of them than behind them. And life hasn't completely fucked them over yet.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
You
they have
know?
that optimism.
Yeah. That's it. They have optimism, and yeah, that's it. Okay.
You lost your optimism.
And weed is prevalent.
Yeah, it's a stoner. It's a
Decriminalized.
stoner school. I mean, it's and pretty much unless you're in a small town in Texas, if you got pulled over. Actually, the show that I let somebody produce yesterday, I was doing it remotely, and one of the comics I've never met before, he was from out of town, and I started a group chat, and I was like, I saw Blink-182 in South Carolina, so that's where I was at last night. So I started this group chat, and right before the show, one of the comics just texts, "I'm getting pulled over," and
oh shit.
Yeah, the other guy's hosting it, so he's running it. I'm like, he'll handle it, whatever. And he's like, "Hey, well, like, what's the deal? Are you gonna be able to make the show?" And he never replies. Turns out he was driving with an entire dab rig.
Oh my god!
Oh shit! Really?
Sorry. Sorry, my wife just walked in. Yeah, he spent the night in jail. But also, who travels with the dab rig? Like it's literally like a massive like. I don't want to offend anybody here. Do you
It's
travel
like a
with your
component. Is it like built into the dash?
I don't know, man. I just feel bad because like the 180 from like on your way to a comedy show to have fun and get paid to like getting arrested and probably like $1,000 ticket and like communities like, oh man, that dude's night.
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
week
anywhere
road.
I travel to, it's legal. So
Just cannabis
I mean,
stuff?
I think it's legal in all of New England now. Maybe not New Hampshire, but it's decriminalized.
Is it just cannabis or is it other stuff too? I know. Because like Ann Arbor, Michigan is a college town and they have legal mushrooms and other what they call plant medicine. As does either Denver or Colorado City.
I mean, it just should be legal everywhere. It's so silly at this point. It will be Texas. They're just lining up. All the fucking rich people are like buying up the land and lining up the contracts. And so it will be legal in a few years. Everyone won't have the same opportunities to sell it and grow it. And...
Right. That's it.
Go Canada.
Woo. Go Canada.
Yay. Well, like I said, I think it's legal in what, 17 or 18 states now?
It's in the 20s.
If you
is it
include
in the
medical,
20s?
it's like more than half.
Medical, yeah.
Because if you include regular, which I mean, the ones that are medical, my back hurts. I'm sad. They're like, okay, here's a weed fucking prescription. So it's not.
Yeah.
Did they declassify it though?
Not federally, but
or did they reclassify it?
I
As a
thought
different
that
Schedule
federally-
3 still federally Schedule 3, but local places can decriminalize and allow sale. And
so like there are entire states where you can smoke it and drive as long as you're not driving pounds of it across state lines, you're safe.
So much per person, yeah.
Yeah, like where I live, I don't know if there's a limit on what you can buy because like there was one of the dispensaries had to like get rid of all their product by a certain date because they were losing their license for a certain amount of time. And I mean, I walked out of there with like shopping bags full of product. I was like, yay. So I don't know if we have a limit on how much we can have on us or how much we can purchase at a time.
What's the most you've ever had?
Like on me, like
just in your like at your house.
Oh, at my house? Probably about 16 pounds.
Oh, I was thinking,
that's because my ex and I used to grow it. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and when I left, I had a whole storage unit full of it. When I left him, because I left him, I took all the weed with me. And the plants were still drying, so I had to rent a storage unit, and I had it all hanging and drying in the storage unit in rows. And I hadn't really thought about it that these are just like the bay storage units, with the garage door type
Oh,
things.
you can smell it, yeah.
You could smell it from everywhere.
So awesome.
So, well, the person that owns the place came over and he was like, "Hey, I gotta say something to you. I mean, I said I'm curing skunk pelts." He said, "I don't think so." I said, "I'll give you a plant." And he said, 2. I said, "You got it." So
covered for you. That's awesome.
yeah.
So I'm assuming that was pre-legal days. That was like the Wild West, right?
It was legal, but not that many plants without a license.
Yeah, pushing the limits a little bit.
Well, I was unlicensed, so without a license, you're not allowed to have that many plants.
See, that's the fucked up part. It's like, if you were gonna make it legal, make it legal. Don't make people have to sign their name or dot an I or cross a T.
Well, if I want to just grow 3 or 4 plants of my own, I do that every year.
Nice.
Yeah.
I tried to grow it once, but I didn't know what I was doing, and it failed so miserably. It had one tiny little bud, but after I dried it and cured it, it was like nothing. It was like a dust of a bowl, and just it tasted good, but didn't do anything. I fucked it up so bad.
Oh, well, that happens.
There's one outside my house right now. It's about 7 feet high.
Jesus.
Nice.
I think my neighbor put it out there, but it's it must be male though, because it's it grows fast as fuck, but there's no buds on it. Let's just leave.
Well, it's
that's fucked up. He's just putting seeds on all the
buds.
neighbor plants now. He's got the male.
Somebody threw it in there. I don't know.
I mean, it might not be. Let's see. It's only going to be August. It shouldn't start really getting buds until September, I want to say.
Yeah, somebody will steal it.
Every strain's different too.
That's true, yeah.
Someone's gonna steal it.
You think?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
So
7 feet tall.
here's some other stuff. Here was my last couple of things I've written down before I got onto the NBA's dunks.
Yeah.
I looked up San Marcos News on Facebook, right? And here was the headline, and there was a video. I saw an alligator in the river behind the Walmart under the bridge today. There was a video. But hold on. So I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I'm gonna have to ask Jack, what the fuck? They have alligators and shit at Walmart?
What's funny is...
sorry, yeah, go ahead.
I just, as you're saying that, I know exactly where you're talking about.
Yeah, it was under the bridge in the river. And so so I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I literally wrote it down, and before I was about to click away, I looked at one of the comments, and some dude's like, "You idiot, stop reporting false news and scaring people. That's a nutria." And he's like, alligators have their nose sticking out or whatever, and you can see this thing has furry ears or whatever. And so it was a nutria, which I only know what those are. Nutrias are these giant fucking rats, right?
Basically,
and I only know what they are is because from watching Dave Attell Up All Night. Have you guys seen the episode? Remember the show at all?
Not the Natel one, but I can't Natel. Jesus Christ.
Nutria.
Nutria.
Yeah, he's in Louisiana.
Now I'm thinking about
And
Nutella.
and they drive around. It's legal to shoot them because there's so many of them. So it's like legal to hunt them in the city. So
Yeah,
people just
swamp
drive
rats.
around. So people just drive around in these fucking pickup trucks with rifles, blasting them. Yeah, drinking and stuff, and like blasting nutria
What
through the
the
city.
fuck?
Yeah. So there was one behind the. It actually was a nutria. You have a nutria in San Marcos.
We have lots of different animals. We have there's a spring that comes out of I almost slipped into Trump in there. We have lots of the greatest animals. There's a spring there that's been around for at least people. It's been habited by people for 15,000 years. So like Indians found the spring, and it's right in the middle of San Marcos. So like there's all sorts of crazy stuff.
Is it like the best spring with the best animals?
I want to ask
The
you
biggest
about that.
animals, animals that everybody would love. Everybody will
Dude.
tell you about these animals.
They're the biggest animals anyone has ever. I can't even do it. Meg Nutria, great again. All right.
Oh fuck! I couldn't resist.
I did
couldn't
try
resist. You
try
have
and
the
write a
best
Trump
words,
joke.
Jack.
I tried to do a Trump impression, and it basically the joke goes nowhere. It's just long thing about like how you don't have grape soda, just so I can get to the end and go, "Make America grape again." And my wife had to hear that for like 3 weeks, and it never gets laughs in comedy clubs. It never gets the laughs that I think it deserves, and so like she had to hear me put up with that shit. For me.
Yeah, have you told it at the Unknown?
Oh man, not in a
I'd
long time.
I'd kind of like to hear it, Jack.
Maybe not in a long time. I'll bring that one back. I'll bring that back for sure.
Okay.
I might
So,
try that.
what is the worst advice as a comic that you have ever been either given or heard somebody else give to another comic or to yourself? What is the worst advice?
How the heck you change your clothes?
I mean, it's in a super general broad category.
Oh, never mind.
But like the idea of what's hack and what's not hack, especially to a new comic. To tell a new comic something they're doing is hack, it's like, well, of course, when you're new, you're gonna write hacky ass shit. But like this whole being I'm the arbiter of that's a joke you can or can't do. I think if it gets laughs, it gets laughs. And it doesn't mean it's universally funny. It doesn't mean you're gonna crush a group of like 20-year-old kids doing dad jokes. But if you're writing dad jokes, fucking write dad, just do it. So that's my I hate when people are trying to judge what a comic's doing super early and then hold it up to some standard like they're supposed to be some pro.
Yeah.
And what would you say is the best advice that you've ever received as a comic?
Well, like, so step one, don't compare yourself to others. You'll drive yourself fucking crazy doing that. Don't try, and you can't help but do it. Everyone does it, but try to avoid it as much as possible. And then two, I don't think a lot of people think about what they're actually trying to get out of doing stand-up. They just do it. And they're not like, oh, my goal is to where I can tour on the road. Or like they don't set goals or have an understanding of what they're trying to get to. So they're just like, I'm burning my wheels. But if you're really trying to, you can just go to a mic every 3 weeks and that's a fun thing you do. You don't have to get better or even like try and get on shows. Like that can be what you want to do. It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to sell out theaters. Because I never think of it that way. Like I would love to go on the road someday, but that's about as high as my aspirations go. And knowing that is like, it's easier to avoid frustration because at least I'm like, well, I'm making my way. I've turned 5 into 10. I'm making connections. That's what I want to do. A lot of people just don't know what they want to do. And so they just burn themselves out trying to do everything. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. That does make sense. Yeah. I just like making people laugh.
Yeah, so you just do it for fun. And that's how it should start.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. It is so much fun to me. Like, isn't it the most amazing experience when like you've got the perfect audience and your joke hits just right and everybody laughs And it's just like the most amazing feeling, like when you've had like a really good set and everybody just keeps laughing.
It's funny when you have a set and something that you think is just kind of a filler joke or not that good, but you're just rattling through and you hit it, and then the audience lights up and they really like something where you're like, oh, that's just something I threw in there. That wasn't
filler,
even the joke, and everyone just laughed. That I love getting that surprise. Like, whoa, I don't think that one's that funny, but like, I guess you guys fucking like,
Every now and then, though, do you ever get where it just like something? Because I don't laugh as much as easily as I used to. I think just because, like, I don't watch stand up on TV that much. I mean, very few comics I watch. And the way, like, I do comedy is nothing like the way they do. But I just don't laugh as easily because sometimes I feel like I'm burnt out on watching comedy.
Yeah.
Like, and
well,
just,
it's,
where it gets predictable.
Well, you're thinking about, you're like, oh, that's an interesting, you're observing, you're not passively enjoying. And that's what happens when you start writing comedy, is like you start to think about it differently. You're thinking about what they're doing. You're not listening the same way an audience would. And it makes it hard to, but it's almost that much sweeter when something does get you, where you're like, oh, that's undeniable. I can't remember what it was. I was laughing at the Kill Tony episode with Shane Gillis as Trump and Adam Ray as Biden. Have you seen this thing?
I have not seen that.
So
have
it happened.
You seen it?
No, it's worth a watch.
Dude, it's
worth a watch.
The actual funny. Kill Tony aspects of it, terrible. Every comic bombs. Tony's annoying. He's overlapping everything. But Shane Gillis as Trump and Biden roasting these comics and going back and forth for 2 hours is one of the best things on the internet. And I don't want to overhype it because it gets slow in parts of the middle. But if you have time, blow that thing up and watch it. It's so interesting. And it happened. They recorded it before the assassination, and then it got released right after the assassination, but before Biden dropped out, while they were still fighting it out. So it dropped at this like magical moment in time, and I suggest everyone watch that. It made me laugh like the first time I went to a comedy club. Like I was hurting, and just like, oh my god, this is hysterical. So
I'll never forget the first comedy club I went to. It was at a time in my life where I just didn't laugh. I didn't laugh a lot or often. I was very serious about everything. And I happened to be in New York City. I lived in southern Connecticut at the time, so it was pretty close. And I was there with a friend. We're walking through Times Square, and somebody came up and they're like, hey, you want to go to a comedy show? Well, we had already stopped at a couple bars along the way and had a couple shots. And we're like, yeah, sure. They're like $5 a ticket. We're like, yeah, sure. So we get a couple tickets, and it's this comedy club called Ha. And it's like down this like side alley.
Hi, Erica.
And you go down these stairs into a basement and through these narrow hallways. And then there's just this like big open room in a basement. And they've got tables set up and a stage, very low ceiling, serve, watered down drinks and like really greasy food. And the comics were so fucking funny. And I was laughing till I squeaked. I had tears. It was the best show I had ever seen. And to date, no comedy show I ever see will ever top that show. And it was just like 4 or 5 amateur comics getting up and doing their 7 minutes, I think.
Yeah, and a solid positive room, and everyone's happy, and there's a point where it becomes just infectious, where you can't not have a good time when that room's buzzing just the right way.
Yeah, it was just so good, and everything they were saying was just I understood it, and it was to be funny. Like, it was shocking. I mean, one guy got up and he was very, very light complected, very pale, had very like light colored eyes. His hair was like white, and he pulled his hat down somehow, and he's like, well, you have to laugh because I'm a cancer patient and this was my make-a-wish.
Oh, no.
And I mean, it just like, that was how it started. And it was just, I thought that was the most hysterically funny thing, because I was like, who is this fool up here doing this? Like, he's actually getting up there and just making an ass of himself, but it's hysterically funny. And I thought it was great, because I would have never imagined myself doing that.
I got a friend who I started watching early on, and we went to lunch. Like, maybe it was like a couple months in, and we went to lunch. He kind of like taught me some of the ropes of like how shows work and like the behind the scenes stuff. And he will do something. Oh, you may have seen him in here. He's the guy who does the Pokeball bit. He literally has one arm. And he's just ranting about a Pokeball.
It's funny. Yeah.
Oh my God, he's hilarious.
So he taught me about committing to the bit, where I will literally like dress up as a character just for one show, write jokes just for one show, knowing that they're like half crap jokes, but just that it's funny to me and my wife and the people in the room. You know, like, he taught me about that. And that's how everything he writes is just so obscure and weird. And you have to you can't give up halfway through a joke like that, or you'll never get the audience back. You just have to fucking sit in it and be with it.
When I first saw him and he started talking, I was like, what the fuck is this? And just maybe a minute into it, I was laughing so hard. It was, he was awesome. But it was so obscure. It was so weird.
If I can find it, I'll send it to him. He recorded 30 minutes and put it out. He'd like, it was 10 years or like 5 years of comedy, whatever, all into this 30 minutes. And he did it at an outdoor show where like no one's laughing and no one gets it. So it's just 30 minutes of him borderline bombing, doing jokes like that, where he's just like, but it's like, it's cringe-tastic in an odd way. It's lovable in an odd way. But I like committing to the bit every once in a while and doing something weird. I think that's important to mix it up and not take it. You're not taking. It's supposed to be funny. You're not taking yourself too seriously, kind of.
Yeah, I got kind of drunk last weekend. And
you did?
Yeah, and I was downtown. I live in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I was downtown, and it's kind of seedy. There's a lot of homeless people hanging out and stuff. And I was just walking around carefree, and somebody was like, starts talking to me. We got on the subject of comedy and how I do comedy in VR, right? And they're like, oh, dude, you should go. There's this open mic night I know about. Do you want to come? I'm like, oh, yeah. So we went, and it was like in this park, and we go to this big like restroom. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's the club, man? He's like, it's in here. And it was the men's bathroom, right? And there was a sign on the door, and it said "Shits and Giggles." That was the name of the club. And I went in there, and there was just like a dude taking a shit in there, and like nobody else. And then the guy's like, all right, go ahead, man. And then so I did a hot 30. Yeah, it was fun, man. Yeah. Shits and giggles. That was my first experience with stand-up.
Real life stand-up. Yeah. Hey, at least you had an audience, man. There's been shows to 0 people before.
He appreciated it. Yeah. And he kept flushing, which I appreciated.
Sounded like a roar of a crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. It was great. We all washed
turn
up
that way a little bit.
All right.
Okay, right there you go. Well, no,
right,
okay.
thanks.
Hold it right there. No. Okay, right there.
That was an action pose of me talking.
B, why do you have a balls and like a limp dick on your shirt?
Wow.
Look. Tell
Yeah,
me
it
that
is.
doesn't.
You can't see it.
It kind of looks like a fetus, maybe.
It's
Yeah.
an ocean fetus.
It's
Save
something
the ocean.
along the circle of life.
Save the
It
ocean
is
from the
that.
monster dick.
I don't know. I
It's
think
either
Save the
balls,
ocean from the monster
semen,
dick. Kill the
or
whales and kill the dicks. Moby Dick.
don't kill the whales.
Don't
Kill
kill the
Moby Dick.
dicks.
Yeah, no kill the dicks.
Actually,
So, Jack, this is something that I ask every guest who comes on here. This is a very important question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? Any ability. Only one.
Man. I think read minds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm already always trying to analyze people. I'm trying to like look at situations and like what's going on back there, what's going on. If I could just click right into their head, it would solve a lot of my my anxieties in general.
You think that would solve your anxieties?
Yeah, because I'd realize
Know what
people are like
thinking.
they're not thinking about when you're in a public situation. You're like, everyone's looking at me. People around you are like, I wish I had hot dogs instead of hamburgers. Like they aren't thinking about you, but we all think they're thinking about you.
See, I am always think that nobody's thinking about me. Except for my cat, because she wants to be fed. But she's not really thinking about me. She's thinking about being fed. Doesn't really have anything to do with me. So really, I don't. Wow, I wouldn't want to read people's minds. It's have a hard enough time keeping track of my own mind.
If I was a 13-year-old boy again, it would be to be invisible, but we all know like where that goes and like how dangerous that is. So read minds seems like the safe adult thing to say.
I would choose teleportation.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I want to see so many different things, but I know that I'll only see a tiny fraction of what I actually want to see. So I would definitely choose teleportation.
What about you, B? What's your go-to?
I think I want to be like the fastest smeller in the world.
Like a dog, like you can analyze like 15 things at once.
Like just I can smell it so fast. Before anybody smells something, I can smell it really fast. It's like if there's a so like if there's like a gas leak or something, you know, like I'll know before, like instant, like I'll know really fast.
So you would have smelt that show coming, your bathroom private performance. Before.
Yeah, I would never have got it. I would never have got into that predicament.
You'd have smelled him a mile away.
Yeah, or not farther, just faster.
That's
like there's the speed of light, right? And there's the speed of sound, and there's the speed of smell, right?
But so just be registering it faster. Like what is that?
Yeah, like how people can run fast, or some people can
So would it be heightened senses?
read fast. I can smell fast. Yeah, heightened senses. Not farther or better, just faster.
The daredevil of the nose.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'll know, like, I'll be able to tell when fruit is bad faster as it's approaching my face. You know what I mean? It's good.
Yeah.
It's good, you guys.
But how much faster would it actually
Way
be?
faster. Like double. Twice.
You can smell the fart before someone lets it out.
Yeah, I can get the fuck out of there. Hell yeah, dog.
Okay.
Before it's even out.
You can smell it coming down the
I can
chamber.
Yeah. Like, oh shit, liver and onions. I just get the fuck out.
I see.
And well, everyone's like, what? And then, oh, that's what. Right. Afterward. You know?
So that would be your superpower. Of all the things that you could choose, that would be your superpower.
Yeah.
You want to be
Because
clairnoisant.
well, like, you don't want something that other people also could potentially have in the superhero universe. You want to be like the only one. So like when the X-Men are like, "Oh shit, there's something in the air, but we can't smell it fast enough," you know. The X-Men.
Okay.
Right, he understands.
I think you would end up being a sidekick with that superpower.
Yeah, Smelly Boy. That's what your name
Yeah, Smelly Boy.
But my nose would be like not long, but like super wide, like outside of my face, like one of those like curly mustaches.
Wow.
Yeah, but then what if a big wind came up and it would catch your nostrils and they would flare out like
And I smell
parachutes?
so many smells so fast that I like it fucking.
Yeah, you go
overload.
into this like catatonic smell state or something.
I like rise
Wasn't
up
there a
and shit.
dog? Wasn't there like Kung Fu? Wasn't there a dog crime fighter already?
Hell no. No,
Like
I'm
that
just kidding.
70s cartoon?
Yeah. Underdog.
Underdog.
Underdog
and
already-
Hong Kong
He already had
Crime-
your shit beat,
The
dude.
crime dog. Sorry, underdog. Dude.
Scruff McGruff wasn't that
He could smell really
crime
fast.
fighting dog?
Well, dogs, since they can identify like 10,000 smells or some shit like that. That's why they're always sniffing everything.
Well, I wouldn't have a tail though. You know what I mean? So that's better.
Kate.
Well, you were talking, B was talking earlier about putting
Mhm.
carrots up his ass.
Okay.
Yeah, what you do is you take the biggest carrot you can find, and then you put the skinny end up your butt, and then you go and you like you scrouch down and let rabbits gnaw on it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
Have you
And what
tried
else?
this, or is it
Yeah,
just like
yeah. I believe I started it. It's called carroting. I put it on Reddit, and it's blowing up.
I don't believe you started it.
It's called carroting. Yeah.
I don't believe you started it.
Well, he's the one that made it go viral.
Yeah, I made it go viral
Yeah.
like a motherfucker.
Yep.
I made it famous.
Hmm.
Carroting.
Yes. That's, yeah. And then he moved on to other things.
Except
He
one
was-
time I was doing it, and it was like in the country, and this warthog came up. That was fucking not cool, man. He wasn't gentle. Like a little rabbit's mouth and so like just kind of vibrates it a little bit, you know.
Have you ever
But a warthog, you gotta fucking run. I'm telling you, you gotta run.
have you
Hit
ever
the fucking bricks, bro?
put your finger in your butt?
Oh, sure. The interviewee becomes the interviewee.
This is a question. I'm very serious about this question. How people answer it tells a lot about them.
Have I put my own finger
Yes.
in
Your-
like what is the in?
I'll start out first. I have.
Well, in a sexual way or
Just in whatever discovery way, in an interesting way, in a explorer
stuff-
way.
to get stuff out way.
Yeah, I guess that could count too. Yeah,
All right.
count too. See, I
Yeah.
can by how you answered, I know the answer is yes. It's just that you don't want to discuss it, and it's not. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Never pass two knuckles. I'll never pass two knuckles, man. Never pass two knuckles.
So
You
is
know
that
that-
a question that you ask a lot of people?
A lot of guys.
Like you just randomly ask somebody, hey, did you ever stick your finger up your ass?
No, I
I bet
ask
you
it-
said that to all the guys.
Is that like an icebreaker in Texas?
This is why I could never work in an office anymore. Yeah, so the last
Too many
serious
fingers.
conversation I had as a kitchen manager was asking all the dudes if they'd done it. And it's funny because how people answer, like, if a guy's like, no, wait, no, that's gay. It's like, you do it the most. It's a fun, how people answer tells
I see.
you a lot about them.
Psychological
I see.
test.
I just assume every girl's done it because they're trying one hole. You're gonna
Oh,
jump
sure,
in
yeah,
next
of
to someone.
course.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Of course.
every girl.
Yeah. I don't think I've got an orifice that has.
Hey, I got this other finger down here. What? It's not doing anything. Oh wow.
Well, and where there was that old joke, why does a woman have 2 holes? So that when they get drunk at night, you can carry them home like a 6-pack.
Oh,
Oh,
that doesn't work.
I thought it was so you could roll them down the bowling alley when they act up. Fucking hit them with the pins. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Domestic
It
abuse.
doesn't work.
No, because their face gets all full of dirt and stuff. You can't hold like a lot of weight up above your shoulder, you know what I mean, for a long period of time. It's hard.
Right.
Yeah, so you have to drag.
On that note, I gotta go take my wife's temperature, if you know what I mean.
Hey,
Okay.
She's got the COVID and she's fucking.
Yeah, and you got the COVID. Well, Jack, thank you very much for being on our show. Despite
I
the
appreciate
COVID.
it.
And
You guys are a lot of fun.
You've been a great guest. And I hope you and your wife are both feeling better very soon.
Absolutely. And I got my show next Wednesday. It'll be stand up to sit down. It'll be stand up comedy. All of you 2 people, you will chum join us and it'll be so much fun. I love Unknown Theater. I love you guys so much. I'm going to go jump off here and do some next stuff. But thank you, Windmajik. Thank you, B-Ligerent. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Love you. Have a good night. Yay. And that has been our show. Thank you so much to our audience members, our diehards.
Yay, hell yeah. You made it. You passed.
Oh, I just got a really loud
the test.
alert on my phone. Good night, everybody.
See you in 2 weeks.
Hey, I think I smell skunk outside my window, B.
Yeah? Some more
See
plants?
you in 2 weeks.
See ya.
King, thank you for letting us keep you up so late. Good night. Good night, Carl Jr., you creepy fucker. Good night, Blood Wraith.
Yeah, have a good night. Good show.
Thank you.
People, and then they bailed out.
Yeah, I get it. It's a long.
It was a good interview.
Yeah. It's fun when people have a lot to say. So then I don't have to fill up time with ridiculous.
Oh no, yeah,
stuff.
it was a good. It was a fun interview.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
He's good. He's good. Good guest.
Yeah.
He's a funny
He definitely
comedian.
was.
He's good.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go finish laundry.
Little Gator, fight the fight.
Yeah, gotta keep the wife happy. She
Good night. Thank
Yep.
you for
a good
staying
fight.
through the whole thing. Yay,
damn, I want that fish.
I do. I want it so bad. He's so cute.
Only I can get it.
I want a Nemo.
I got it through a special thing where they're like, "Hey, is this B-Ligerent?" And I'm like, in an email, and I'm like, yeah.
I would
I'm
want
like,
a Dory one.
I'm like, ooh, check your inbox. A special thing just made just for you. Only you can have.
Look how cute it is. Really?
If I rapid fire it, it'll just stay there
All right,
like
guys.
forever. Have a good one, man.
Night. It's so cute.
Here, let me try to remember where I got it. Hold on. It was easy. I can't. You can get it also real fast. Faster than shit.
Faster than shit.
Shit on shit. Or whatever. This one. And then you go down. You use your eyeballs. And you look. You go. Oh. There it is. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, how do I make a thing? Portal? It's
gotta
called
click down.
what's called fucking Bobber Bay fishing. That one.
Oh, I'm not good at. I tried that. I didn't know how to work it or anything.
Well, I'm going with you to show you how to do it. It's super fast. You can have the fish. You ready?
Okay.
Hold on, I'll try to open a whatchamacallit.
There you go.
Oh,
Bobber
there you
Bay
go.
fishing.